way more hours on the computer. Our gyms are closed. Our workout classes are canceled. Let's face it, COVID-19 has completely changed the way we live our lives. And so I invited Don Joseph, kinesiologist and core specialist here today, to share with us some exercises that we can do now that we're home and hunched over our computers all day long. So grab a mug of your favorite beverage and come on back for today's Nutrition Coffee Chat. Well, I chose Don specifically to share with you because Don and I go way back. I've attended Don's core classes both online and back when she did them in person. Will not share how many years ago. And also Don taught me how to stand up paddleboard. And why I invited Don to be here today is because Don is all about using correct form. And face it, all of us who are 40 plus, we don't move like the way we used to. And we've all had some, we all have some aches and pains, maybe some injuries, whether they're sports injuries, car accidents, or just from sitting at a desk job for 20 years. And so it's all about undoing any overcompensation that's going on, getting muscles firing that have become lazy. And so I wanted to bring Don here to share with us, now that we're hunched over the computers, we're probably all feeling the results of that. And so, Don, what exercises or what moves should we be doing in order to improve our health now that we're home all day long?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. I see a lot of stuff right now on the internet of like what to do for your neck and a lot of neck pain, a lot of back issues. First thing to know is your head weighs about 10 pounds, the human head. So for every inch forward it is, it gains another 10 pounds. So when you look at just being on your phone, checking your phone regularly, kind of staring down at your screen, your head is like an orange on a toothpick. Like it's huge. So it's a lot of weight. And to have 2 inches forward is really easy. So to all the time have a 30-pound orange on a toothpick is a lot of weight. So being really aware of keeping your ears back over your shoulders, just reset. And again, putting a little sticky on your computer that just says head posture or FHP, like forward head posture. Where is your head? So checking in, because most of us, unfortunately, are walking around without our heads on straight in more than one ways right now. But, trying to do this. We're in this together. So that's one thing. The other thing is we tend to really focus on like, oh my gosh, my back. What can I do for my back? My back's so sore. The reason that your back is often sore is that you're rounding forward. And what's actually happening is you're becoming short and tight through the front. So it's actually coming from here. So, you can go and you can work that back or open that back up or get your massage or whatever. But if this is always tight, then you're going to just keep going. You're always going to have that pain in the back. So it's actually coming from the back. So this is a really easy thing to check. I'm going to take you down to the floor. So this is one that you need no equipment for. But if you come down onto the floor and you basically bring those arms at 90 degrees. So you're just going to let your elbows are just below shoulder height and just let your hands flop to the floor. Your hands, your wrists, and your knuckles should be able to lie flat on the floor. And amazingly, many of us either have a hand rotated up or the wrist won't hit the floor without kind of feeling like you're really forcing it down. But that's a great indication of like, wow, my shoulder isn't sitting in neutral. And what happens, I'll come back to the floor in a second here, but what happens is when your shoulder isn't in neutral, especially, and there's a lot of home working out going on right now, if you're going to do an overhead move, that's one of the worst things you can do. And that can be reaching for a coffee cup. This is where it all goes wrong, is your shoulder's not sitting in neutral and then you take it overhead. So getting those shoulders into neutral before doing any overhead motions, and there's lots of ways you can modify. So if you're doing a tricep press overhead right now, take it down onto your back. So I need to come back down on my back and just do them this way. Just protect your shoulders. But anytime you're lying on your back, draw your shoulders down and gently pull those shoulder blades together in any of your exercises, really, just to make sure that sets proper. So if you can lie absolutely flat, those wrists hit the floor, no problem. If you grab yourself a little towel, so I've got like a beach towel here. You can take a little hand towel and you just roll it up. So something soft, a yoga mat will work. You don't need a massive roll. Start with something nice and soft, not a big roller. You can take a little half foam roller, but pool noodles are good. You're going to put that right under your shoulder blades. So just below your scapula, and then you can support that head with your hands at the base of your skull, so not up here on the head, right at the base of your skull, and just open up and hang out. And if you're thinking like, can't breathe, it's too big, take a smaller roll or a smaller towel, just unroll it and just let it go. So we should be able to open those elbows up and let it all go. If that angle is uncomfortable, then of course just bring it down to 45 degrees. But just allow your body to open up and let gravity do the work. So that's an easy one. Just deep breaths in. You know, if you're taking a little stretch break, you can move around on there. Sometimes things clink and clunk, and you're like, hey, how about that for adjustment? You know, just kind of, it'll just get stuff moving. But and then work on that belly breath. So if you're feeling like it's all up in that shallow breath, you know, you want to draw the air down into the lungs, let the rib cage expand in all directions. You should feel your belly rise a bit, and then just hang out. And then we might lose you there for a few hours, but you might need it. And when you're getting up, roll over onto your side and then push yourself up. So, and that's key too, just so you're not like, well, Dawn had this great exercise and then I hurt my back. You don't need to roll straight up ever. You can roll onto your side and then just pull yourself up. But those are a few things to keep in mind. So one, the forward head posture, orange on a toothpick. Literally, for any of you that have seen So I Married an Axe Murderer, you will understand that reference. Funny movie. And if you have nothing better to do, that's a good movie to watch right now. I hope you know what I'm talking about. This might date me. And then just, again, you're in your, like, you know, being arrested position, just lie down, and those wrists and your knuckles should be flat on the floor without forcing anything. And that alone is just a great position to have gravity open you up. And then beyond that, you can grab that little towel or yoga mat, just roll it up right under your scapula. You don't need to go lower than the shoulder blades. You can work higher than the shoulder blades. You'd slide your bum down and can work up towards your neck a bit. But just hang out on there and let gravity do its thing. And the next thing you know, you're going to be this open, perfect postured, superstar that you are.
There you go. Well, that's amazing. I could, even as you were lying there, even just watching you lie there, I was like, oh, that looks good. So I'm definitely going to do that. And I've become aware, even as I was sitting here, of like, oh, yeah, yep, the shoulders are forward, the head is forward. I need to move that back, just even as I was talking with you. So I'll be definitely doing all three of those stretches. And for everybody watching today, which stretches are you going to be doing? Share that in the comment section below. And so, Dawn, how can people find out more about you? Because I've been following you on Facebook and doing your free core classes, and I know you still have some there, but you've launched something pretty exciting this week.
Yeah. So most recently, so basically, I did some free core classes on Facebook. Was getting like 200 to 1,000 views on these videos, which is great. To me, it's like, oh, hey, people are like, I should be working on this. I should have been doing this for a long time. Now's a great time to do some work.
That was me.
It's a lot of well, it's all of us, but it's a lot of education. So it's not a like, woo, let's work our bodies. It's more, why are we doing this? Like, your diaphragm needs to function properly, because it's talking about the deep core muscles. And if you don't breathe properly, chances are you're putting pressure on your pelvic floor. So, you know, we have this idea that planks are like the be all and end all, and I'm going to plank every day. But if you are bracing in your plank, you're probably doing more damage than good. And all of a sudden you have a hernia, or you have a pelvic floor issue, and that's a long time coming. That doesn't happen in one day. But knowing the tools to get those really deep tummy flattening muscles too on first can totally change all of your training. So the stuff I do, really, it's a great place to just start, of like, oh, I just need some core strength. And it's a great addition if you are a runner or a biker, or you're doing CrossFit, or you're doing whatever else you want. This will make you more bulletproof. It'll decrease your injuries, decrease your pain, and really get you strong from the inside out. So what I have done is put it on a platform. I really wanted to help some local businesses that just aren't able to be open at this time. So I live here in Kelowna, BC, surrounded by vineyards, orchards, lake. It's not a bad place to be. So I have gone around to businesses that are closed, socially distanced myself, and with permission, of course, walked out into these vineyards, shot these videos there. So now the videos are all in these beautiful locations around town. It gives you a little bit of an info, like, hey, if you're gonna come up, want to go to a ranch, ride some horses when these things are open. So a little bit of kudos to these local companies, and then just a really nice backdrop. And then you learn about why it's so important that your glutes work, so that your hip flexors can back off. If you have chronically tight hip flexors, which is really common, and we tend to just be like, gotta stretch them, gotta stretch them, gotta stretch them. You can stretch them till the end of days, but if your glutes don't work, you will chronically have tight hip flexors. So we talk about stuff like that. So that is that's all up, posted on my Simply Core Fit Facebook page. I'm doing a 30-day challenge right now, so anyone that just needs a start point, it's basically, let's do some core for 30 days. You sign up for $35 and you get unlimited videos. They are all marked, like they're numbered, they're categorized from beginner. You can work up to intermediate and advanced. There's a free one up there right now. It says must watch. And I would highly recommend, if you do nothing else, just watch even the first 5 minutes of that. It explains the outer core and the inner core and what I'm talking about. It's like the kinesiologist geeking out here, rather than, like I said, just raw fitness. So yeah, I really want to help people perform, want to get them out of pain. And there's some really basic, easy stuff that we can be doing every day and add on to what you're doing. So that's all there. I got one. Yeah.
I think that's amazing what you're doing, the way you help people, especially for those of us, as I said, who are, a little bit older and we've experienced those injuries and kind of moved poorly for a long time and have created problems. So I really noticed in myself how much better a runner I am, how much stronger I am as I've been doing the core exercises. And I've been a long time runner. I have some imbalances already from that. I was in a pretty big car accident and some other sports accidents, and that really destroyed a lot of things. And even though I'm back from that and running again, I noticed that I'm weaker, and what used to be my strong leg is now my weak leg, and things like that. So I really noticed how your core exercises help me do the things I love. So thank you for that. And I think that's wonderful. I'm definitely going to be enjoying some virtual traveling through Kelowna while I'm sitting here in my same 4 apartment walls.
Yeah, and you had a great point, Kristen. It's about the mobility and the stability, just getting yourself moving well. And for those of you that are struggling with just like, but I don't want to move right now, like I've been in my house for so long, I don't want to move. When you move well and you're not fighting your own body, it's a lot more motivating to keep moving than when every time you move it hurts. And so that's some of the stuff I talk about. There's a whole video in there in just rolling on a tennis ball. So if you need a break from actual core training, but it's really key when people start moving well, just like that simple exercise we just did. I mean, breathing. Many of us breathe very inverted, and it's not something we often check into, but all the pressure is here. So you want to know why your neck and shoulder hurts. Well, when it's a very short, oh my gosh, and when we're stressed out, that's where our breath is. So being aware of like the posturing and the breathing, because it's very hard to get your posture when your breathing's locking you down. So take a deep breath. Well, set your head straight on your shoulders and carry on.
There you go. I think it's great for both mediating the problems that COVID is creating, but also kind of turning that on our head and using this time of being home so much as an opportunity to create a new habit and undo some of our, chronic stuff that we've done. So thank you so much, Dawn, for joining us here today. Please let me know, what is the best way for people to reach you at? Shout out your URLs there, your handle.
So simplycorefit.com is my website. And if you're looking for just quick tips, there's a little newsletter. It's not really a newsletter. It's once a week, you'll get 1-minute tips. It's me being like, here's what to think about this week in 1 minute. So Core in a Minute is on there. That explains all the online work I do, the one-to-one work I do. And then there's also a link if you go to the classes page for that 30 days for $35 core challenge. And then you can find me, of course, on Instagram or Facebook at Simply Core on both of those. Sorry, Simply Core Fit.
There we go. Great, great. And so, yes, for other videos on creating healthy habits here at home, particularly cravings, click the links in the boxes here. Click subscribe and the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And if you like today's video, let me know. Click the thumbs up button. Have a great week. Hang in there, and I'll see you next Thursday morning.